Hi, and welcome to the OKI Environmental Mitigation and Suitability Model overview training. Today I'm going to show you just a brief introduction of the model and how you can use it. And so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and get started in this. We have several features within the map. This is an ArcGIS online map created through Web App Builder. We have training information right now. We have a story map, but we will be adding more content as we move forward. We have a list of all the layers that you can use to visualize, click on and off to see what the layers look like and what the geography is of each layer. These are all layers that are included inside the model. We also have a series of boundary layers that can be used if you are interested in seeing how a certain area is once you run the model. You can turn on the boundary layer and get some more information. We also have the list of layers that are included some metadata about where those layers came from and some more information of how we incorporated them into the model. Finally, we have information on adding your own data, such as adding data that you have on your ArcGIS Online account, data that you might have from web services, as well as files that you might have locally, such as shape files that are zipped up, CSV files, KML, etc. This map has the ability to let me close that out. It has the ability to zoom in, zoom out, to change your base map. So if you wanted to put an aerial or see some topographic details, you can look at that as well. Have measurement tools, which will allow you to measure area and line. Also have the ability to see your own location and moving back and forth. You can also type in an address of a place and find it in the map. For this purpose, what we're really here for today is to focus on the Suitability Modeler widget, which is the 0.9 icon. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and I'm going to select some layers to incorporate in my first model. For this map, I am going to look at forest canopy height. And I'm also interested in looking at natural heritage data. And I'm also looking at proximity to parks and protected areas and recognized biodiversity. So I will go ahead and design the model. Now for this purpose, I'm just going to go ahead and weight each feature equal to each other. So I will give them all a 25% because there are 4 features. And I want to make a note here that this number total has to be 100 or else the model won't run. So if your model's not running, that might be something to review. For the forest canopy height, this scenario that I'm creating here, I'm interested in areas that have forest canopy. So I have where there's very low canopy, I'm weighting lower, and I'm increasing as I go along. Now, if this was a map where I was looking at areas to concentrate on a tree planting program, maybe I might use the inverse for that model. For natural heritage data, I am more interested in areas because this is maybe a scenario where I'm trying to find areas for protection or conservation. So I'm much more interested in where there's species that have been found, and the more species per square mile that were found, endangered, threatened species that were found, I'll weight higher. Proximity to parks and protected areas. I'm not so much interested in this model of running things that are already protected, so I will put a 1 for that. But if it's in close proximity, I'm definitely very interested. And the further away, I will weight it lower. And then for recognized biodiversity, I am interested in areas of recognized biodiversity. and not as interested in areas where there isn't recognized biodiversity. Now, it's important to note that if you are looking to avoid impact to an area, you may want the inverse of these. So just keep that in mind as you're plugging numbers into the model. So once I get my numbers where I want them to be, I'll go ahead and run the model, and I get a heat map that shows me on a 1 to 9 scale of what is most, 9 being the most features in the model, whereas a 1 is lower. I also have the ability to change this if I don't like the green to red or I want something else, I can do that. If I want to change the transparency, I can come in and to the legend layer and change the transparency of the weighted raster overlay so that I can see what's behind it. And then I can change my base map so that I have the aerial behind it, and I can get a better feel for what's in that area. The other thing I can do is I can export this, and it will export to my ArcGIS Online account. And from there, I can open it up in ArcMap or ArcGIS Pro, and I can also I can open it into ArcGIS Pro, and I can actually download or export out a local copy from ArcPro. I also have the ability to do some charting, which I can draw a polygon of the area, and it will give me a percentage of that polygon that is in each of those categories. This is also very useful because you can select from a layer where you can add one of your boundary line layers, and say you wanted to select one community versus another, you can see how they measure up to each other. So in summary, that is pretty much the first example of the model, and it's very adaptable, and you'll be able to use this for numerous purposes depending on what you need for your region. I want to put it out there that if you have any questions or concerns or comments, please feel free to reach out to OKI. We'll be happy to help you out with that, and especially if you need any help getting started. So I appreciate your time today, and good luck working with the model. Thanks. Bye.